What if one of the most beloved teams in NASCAR made a move so controversial that it could end a driver's career? Well, that's exactly what Joe Gibbs Racing did. The shockwaves from this decision are still being felt across the NASCAR world, and trust me, you won't want to miss how this unfolded. Joe Gibbs Racing, a powerhouse in NASCAR, is facing some serious changes heading into the 2025 season. Imagine a JGR team without its iconic names is hard, yet this is the reality for which it has turned out. Truex Jr.'s announcement for retirement has created a void the team will have to fill in its lineup for the future. Further, it also has its uncertainty concerning Denny Hamlin's future with JGR. And of course, no more speculating. Will Hamlin retire or leave altogether? Fans and inside spectators all ask the question, will the team be able to maintain its hold atop, or is a major change coming? Year after year, Hamlin has been the face of the number 11 ride, but never has his future looked so bleak. Change coming inside and outside the team could be the beginning of the last days of Joe Gibbs Racing. If they choose to not renew Hamlin's contract, huge changes lie ahead and may alter the face of NASCAR forever. Let's see how we get closer to that decision he might take towards the door. In an emotional farewell, Denny Hamlin recently bid goodbye to FedEx, a partner that had been by his side for an incredible 19 years. This parting felt like the end of an era, not just for Hamlin, but for the entire Joe Gibbs Racing organization. Fans watched as the once inseparable duo Hamlin and FedEx went their separate ways, sparking rumors about what's next for the veteran driver. While FedEx was synonymous with Hamlin's career, the question on everyone's mind was, what does this mean for his future at JGR? The breakup left many wondering whether the team was preparing for a change in leadership, with a possible focus on bringing in new drivers or shifting away from Hamlin's long-standing presence in the number 11 car. Despite the heartfelt farewell, Hamlin has remained tight-lipped about his future. Is this the beginning of a transition into a new phase of his career? Or does it signal the end of a partnership that many thought would never break? It's a crossroads moment for both Hamlin and JGR, and it could be just the first step in a bigger shakeup. Then came the bombshell, the departure of Chris Gabart, a key figure in Hamlin's success over the years. Gabart, who had been at JGR for a long time, decided to change into the competition director position. This was not your typically mundane shuffle among teams. This was an upheaval. Gabart was more than just an average crew chief. He was Hamlin's one and only mentor. A mentor who had trained Hamlin for countless seasons in very trying times. Mixed feelings, indeed. There was a lot at stake in the Gabart move. Together, Hamlin and Gabart established a trust and success-based relationship which saw them through serious big races like the 2019 Daytona 500, among many others. Why then would JGR go ahead with such a bold move? Was it the strategy to line the future for the team, or was it simply a touch to signal that they were ready for a new chapter? It provoked a lot of questions, especially what this would mean for Hamlin at JGR in the coming future. Could this be part of a larger restructuring? Maybe Joe Gibbs Racing was getting ready for a new chapter, one that did not have the longtime crew chief in the picture at all. Change was underway, but what was coming next was difficult to predict. Just when it appeared as though things couldn't possibly get worse, Joe Gibbs Racing raised the stakes even further by promoting Chris Gale to crew chief of the number 11 car. After rising through JGR, Gale led one of NASCAR's most prestigious teams. The question lingered. Does this promotion represent a signal for stability or herald something even bigger on the horizon? Gale had made a long association with the team and had salubrious experience with JGR operations, so he was the most obvious candidate for the role. But it was the kind of movement where one saw the beginning of a new chapter, not merely for him, but for JGR as a whole. Would Gale be the person who could bring down the stability and consistency needed by Hamlin and the team during this tumultuous time? Or is it Gale's leadership marking the start of an even more dramatic bid in the team? The future of the number 11 car seemed less certain as Gale took on the new role. Was JGR trying to stir things up, Or was that a calculated move in preparation for the impending exit of a legend? Fans were left wondering, what's next for Joe Gibbs Racing, and who will lead through these tumultuous changes? As word broke about Chris Gabart's departure and its accompanying shift in leadership, Denny Hamlin's immediate reaction was shock. After all, he'd spent the last several years working side by side with Gabart to achieve countless successes on the track. Just as difficult was the fact that the two of them shared great ties. But then, the true professional that he was, Hamlin readily accepted the change for the betterment of Joe Gibbs Racing. Despite everything, it was bad at first for Hamlin. He got to know that such a change was necessary for the long-term future of the team. In an industry where change is constant, he proved once again that for the betterment of your team, keeping up with change is the key to survival and relevance. Therefore, the very fact that he was very adaptive to coping with such a change in leadership in itself spoke volumes about his commitment to the goals of the team. He focused on how he could contribute to JGR's future rather than dwelling on the news shock. His professionalism would bear out. Not that he wasn't concerned for himself, but that he was always focused on what was best for the team and sport, despite the personal cost. As Denny Hamlin enters the later stages of his racing career, his focus has shifted beyond just driving. In addition to his role at Joe Gibbs Racing, Hamlin is now a co-owner of 2311 Racing, a team he shares with basketball legend Michael Jordan. This new chapter in his career has taken on a life of its own, and it's clear that Hamlin is positioning himself as more than just a driver. He's becoming a key figure in shaping the future of NASCAR. Running 2311 Racing has given Hamlin a unique opportunity to influence the sport from a leadership perspective. His involvement in team ownership is a major shift, as he balances his responsibilities behind the wheel with his growing role as a team owner and manager. This evolution from driver to team leader has made Hamlin a more well-rounded figure in the racing world. The skills and insights he's gained as an owner are only adding to his legacy, allowing him to leave an even bigger mark on NASCAR, both on and off the track. As the rumors swirl around Denny Hamlin's future, the question remains, what's next for the veteran driver? With his long tenure at Joe Gibbs Racing and his recent shift toward team ownership, many are speculating whether Hamlin will retire soon, focus more on his 2311 Racing venture, or continue driving for JGR. There's a chance that Hamlin could step away from full-time racing shortly, especially as he transitions into a more prominent ownership role. As an owner, he could find more fulfillment in shaping the next generation of drivers and teams, leaving the driver's seat behind. On the other hand, Hamlin's competitive nature might keep him racing for a few more seasons, continuing to chase that elusive championship. Joe Gibbs Racing is no stranger to making tough decisions, and the organization has already begun to prepare for life without Denny Hamlin if necessary. With the uncertainty surrounding Hamlin's future, JGR has been strategizing, ensuring that they're not caught off guard when the time comes for a change. The team is taking steps to position itself for success, whether Hamlin is behind the wheel or not. This includes exploring new talent, improving their operations, and setting up their future to continue competing at a high level. The focus is on ensuring that, should Hamlin retire or leave, the team is ready to keep moving forward without missing a beat. The hiring of new crew members, such as Chris Gale, is a part of that strategy. Each change reflects a long-term vision, one that doesn't rely on any single driver. Joe Gibbs Racing has a track record of bouncing back from transitions, and with the proper planning, they can continue to thrive in the ever-competitive world of NASCAR. Whether Hamlin stays or goes, JGR's future looks bright, and they're preparing for every eventuality. So, what do you think? Should Denny Hamlin retire and focus on his ownership role at 2311 Racing, or should he continue racing with JGR to pursue that elusive championship title? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to hit subscribe for more NASCAR updates.